Good afternoon, guys. Today we're going through the lab number 10 on the SQL map. So for this lab, we are going to use the Burp Suite to configure as a proxy server so that we can intercept the traffic between the client machine and the server one. Okay, and by using the Burp Suite, we can try to collect information regarding the database that is installed on the server one itself. Okay, so I have already set up my server one. Okay, so my server one is up here. So I will use the client machine to try to connect to the server one. So as the lab sheet says, the first part, I'll need to configure the Firefox web browser on the client machine. So let me just go to the Firefox browser, search for Firefox. Once I click, it should start with the default web page, the Kali Linux default web page. What we need to do, the next thing is we want to go to the network settings. So under the three horizontal bar on the top right corner, you should be able to see settings. Okay. Settings. And then you want to go and search for the proxy. So let's go and key in the search bar. We type for proxy, PROXY. And the proxy is inside the network settings. So we click here. And then this is what we will see. So we will first need to configure the proxy to connect to this address 127.0.0.1, which is the localhost, the loopback, okay, loopback address. Also for the port 8080, do the same thing for the HTTPS proxy. Okay, also port 8080. So once these two ports, once these two proxies are set up, HTTP and the HTTPS, we are okay. Just click OK to continue. So once I'm done, I will be able to, I can close the settings if I want. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I want to go and activate this program called Burp Suite. Let's go over to my Kali Linux here and search for Burp Suite, BURP. Okay, so this is the Burp Suite we want to launch. Click to start the program. So once the program is started, if you are starting this program for the first time, you may be asked to accept the terms and conditions for this software. The Burp Suite software have two licenses. The first license that installed inside this Kali Linux is a community edition. So it's a free version with some limited features. If you use the paid version, the Burp Suite Pro Edition, obviously there are more features. So for us, because we are using Community Edition, we will need to accept some conditions to use this software. So at this part over here, let me just click next. And then I'll start the Burp Suite program. Okay to continue. So what happened is this software is meant for conducting web-based penetration testing as well as monitoring. So we can actually use this tool to check for vulnerabilities for web pages or web servers and so on. Okay, so after this is done, we have configured the Burp Suite. So we can actually look for this tab over here. Can you see on the top, there's this proxy tab. So under the proxy tab, you should be able to see this intercept is on button. Can you see? So this is the intercept is on button. So what this means is whenever I try to send something on this web page, it will be captured on this software, Burp Suite. So for example, let's try to go over to my browser now. So on my Kali Linux, I can try and key in my IP address for the server, which is this address, http:// 10.10.10.8. Press enter, and then notice that my program suddenly jumps towards the Burp Suite. Can you see? Why is this so? Because inside Burp Suite, I set this program to intercept is on. So when it says intercept is on, right? Whatever traffic I send through this Firefox browser will be captured by the Burp Suite. So this is the traffic that I've just captured when I actually key in the address space on the Firefox browser itself. Okay, so the left sheet tells me to switch the intercept to off. So I'll just click on this button, and now the intercept is off. Okay, so once this one is off, if you go over to my Firefox browser, you can see now my Firefox browser has navigated to the web page at this 10.10.10.8 server. Okay, so the web page is loaded, and then I no longer stuck in the Burp Suite page over here because I switched off the intercept already. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue at the browser here. So this browser, or rather this web page that is running on the server 1, okay, is a fictitious web page called Samurai Dojo. So what I can do is this web page or this web server is a simulated web page of this blog. Okay, the blog page consists of this home page and also a registration page and also a login page. So let's try to log into this blog, the Samurai Dojo blog over here, using the following credentials. Okay, the guest for the username, and also, guests, GUEST, and then the password is 123, a very secure password. And then click submit. So once you click submit, Firefox will try to log into this web page. On the Firefox browser itself, once you key into the browser submit button, it will prompt you whether you want to save the password or not. So in this case, you don't want to save the password, just click no, don't save. And then at this point in time, you will see this message on the web page, bad username or password. Okay, because the username and password combination we key in just now is incorrect. So at this point in time, let's pause at the Firefox. We go over to the Burp Suite. Okay, so for the Burp Suite tool, this is the tool that we have just now. We click on the HTTP history. Can you see over here? Inside the proxy tab, there is another sub-tab called HTTP history. So let's click on HTTP history, and then this is what we will see. So we will see a couple of these entries. So these entries are actually the communication which I did just now. Remember just now when I connect to this Samurai Dojo webpage. Okay, so when I sign in to this webpage for the first time, it will be captured on the Burp Suite, this tool over here. And they will show you what are the contents that are being captured. Okay, and also the corresponding HTTP response from the web server. Okay, So this is the first one. For the second one, if you see, this is when I navigated to the registration page. Okay, I was trying to click on the registration page. The third one, I finally navigated to the login page over here. Okay, so these are the traffic that was captured for these different parts of the transaction. Okay, so let's select the last one. Okay, for the last one, if you see this last traffic over here, number 5 is actually the post method. Okay, which is what we are going to see in this lab sheet. So for this post method, once you selected, you should be able to see a bunch of things for the request raw. So this is the request that was posted to the web server. Okay, from the web page to the web server, and inside here you can see some interesting things. For example, the page that you want to access, index.php, and then the parameters page is login.php. Also, you have the host IP address 10.10.10.8. So inside the lab sheet, they'll ask you to note down the host IP address. So I'll just write down the host IP address over here, 10.10.10.8, which is this address over here. So this is the host address. So next, we go to the number 15, copy and paste the post method below. Okay, the post method refers to this one over here. So this is your post method. So let's try and copy this, write down post/index.php. Oops, sorry, it's a smaller case. Index.php. Question mark page equals to login.php. Okay, so this is the post method that we have captured so far. So for part number 16, they'll ask to copy and paste the last line request and replace the guest and password into star. Let me check what am I supposed to do here. Copy and paste the last line request. Oh, so it should become something like this. Copy and paste. So that means I should be able to see something like this here. Copy and paste this one over here. Yeah, something like this. So instead of the guest username, I replace it with the star. And then the password 123 will be replaced by the star also. Okay, the rest all remain the same. Okay, so this is the requests. Not doing repeater. Okay, never mind. So after that, I'll just minimize this Burp Suite and then go on to the terminal emulator. So as for my terminal emulator over here, let's explore this command I'm going to use later on called SQL Map. So just key in SQL Map -h. So this is a tool that is built in the terminal console for you to examine the databases, okay, SQL databases inside the so-called web server and other servers. Okay, so this free tool is built using Python. You can also run it using Python or just a raw Python program itself. Okay, the official link is SQLmap.org. Okay, so these are some of those things that you can do. You can actually use it to examine a particular target for the SQL database and then try to look for interesting information. For example, the post command, or you can try and search for the HTTP cookie inside the database, or you can search for proxy information, or such as Tor anonymity network. You know Tor? That means the distributed internet network that is more secure and so on, and stuff like that. And you can also do some kind of red tape offensive injection command, SQL injection command, using customized payloads and those kind of things. Of course, we are not going to do that for now. So you can fill in the information you have over here. For example, SQL Map -H will show the help. For this case, -H is show basic help over here. And then the version is this one over here. So you can just highlight and update here. -U is target URL. And then DBMS, database management system, is supposed to be below, I think. Don't have it. Here. False backend DBMS to provide value. So on. So you can populate this table yourself if you have the time. Just go through this one by one. Okay, let's go over to the next part, number 3. So let's try and do a ping check on the server one. Okay, so let's try and do a ping -C3 10.10.10.8. Enter. So the ping should be successful. Okay, so ping is successful. So let's go on to the next part. We are going to use the SQL Map command to try to do some customized injection. Okay, so the next thing is, let's key in this command here in the terminal window. The command is a bit long, so just have to be patient. SQL Map -U double quote HTTP ://10.10.10.8 index.php with the page equals to login.php. Okay, it's a very long command, so you need to specify the username as well. Yeah, it's a very long command. So, and username. Oh, sorry, there's an underscore. User underscore name equals to star at password equals to star at submit underscore button equals to submit. Okay, not finished yet. After that, you still got some more things. Dash DBMS. DBS, sorry, dash DBS. Then, okay, before I press enter, let's double check again. SQL Map -U HTTP 10.10.8 /index.php which equals login.php and user underscore name equals to star at password equals to star at submit underscore button equals to submit. Yeah, then double quote DBS. Okay, let's press enter. Okay, so what happened is what we are trying to do is we are going to use the SQL map to try and do injection of this command using the dash u option. So they will ask you a bunch of questions, then we just follow accordingly. First thing they'll ask custom injection marker star found in option U. Do you want to process it? Press no and then press enter. And then next it is recommended to perform only basic union tests if there are not at least one other blah blah blah. Do you want to reduce the number of requests? No. Press N, enter. And then next question they'll ask, do you look like backend DBMS is MySQL? Do you want to skip test payload specific for other DBMSs? Type no and press it. And then next question, for the remaining tests, do you want to include all tests for MySQL extending provider level 1 and risk 1 values? Press yes. Oops. Then after that, got a refresh intent, like common response to login pages. Do you want to apply it from now on? Press yes. Okay, so almost done. After some time, it should come out with the injection parameter. Okay, there's a question inside the lab sheet. They ask, what is the parameter that appears to be injectable? In this case, the parameter is user underscore name. So the answer is user underscore name. So this is the database parameter that we can try to inject the SQL command for this database. Okay, some other questions we need to answer. Do you want to retry proper union column test with fuzzy test? No. Yes, sorry. So yes, yes. Press enter. Injection not exploitable with null value, blah, blah, blah. Do you want to inject a random integer value? Type yes. Then after that, the next question asks, get parameter username is vulnerable. Do you want to keep testing the others? Let's say yes. So let's yes. Okay, then, so you will try to scan again. The next parameter they found that is injectable is password. So we just write down here. So password is also injectable. Okay, so this part almost finishing. They were asking, say, number 13, get parameter is vulnerable. Do you want to keep testing the others? Yes. So just continue testing. Finally, after a lot of testing, you should be able to come up with this bunch of stuff. Number 14. Okay, so finally the SQL Map scan is more or less done. They will ask you multiple injection points. Please select one for use for the following injection. 0 for place get parameter number 1. Place get parameter password or quit. So according to the lab sheet says we are going to use the first one. We are going to inject the username. So let's press 0 and then press enter. So once this is done, 0 is done, and some information they have gathered so far, so we can populate this info inside my lab sheet. Web server operating system is Linux Ubuntu. Web app technology is Nginx 146 and PHP 559. Backend DBMS is MySQL 5.5. These are the info. List of databases that they have found. There are 5. Okay, so information schema, MySQL, performance schema, my PHP MyAdmin, and then the last one is Samurai Dojo Basic. So these 5 databases. So coming to an end, task number 5, let's try to enumerate the database tables. So same thing, we need to key in a number of commands. So let me just clear the screen for now. Oops, sorry, my mistake. Let me type here, clear screen. Okay, I'm going to reuse the command that I typed in just now, and then modify from there. So I have the IP address the same, 10.10.10.8, index same, page login.php same, username, password same, submit button same. But at the back, I need to add additional parameters. So I need to add -d for the Samurai Dojo basic. Okay, so that's the database that I'm going to use called Samurai Dojo Basic. Then I'm going to enumerate the tables. Okay, so the front part is the same. It's same as the previous command, so I didn't do anything fantastic. I only added the part at the back. Okay, for example, this -d for database. So I want to enumerate the database Samurai Dojo Basic. And inside this database, I want to list out all the tables. So same thing, I press enter. And then SQL Map, oh, there's an error. Let's check what errors have I found. Oh, it's supposed to be tables. Apologies. Plural. So question they'll ask, customize injection marker star found. Do you want to process it? No. Let me try again. No. And then next question, multiple injection points. Please choose one to use. Press number 0. The first one, injection of username. Once injected, you will get some information regarding the tables inside Samurai Dojo Basic Database. So there are 3 tables we found. The first one is called accounts. Second one is called blocks table. The third one is called hit log. Okay, so these 3 tables are found inside the Samurai Dojo database. Towards the end, we are going to try to find out more info about the columns inside the database. So the same thing, let me just clear the screen. I'm going to modify the commands. So instead of doing the tables, I'm going to search for there's one table called accounts. Okay, so I'll just look at the accounts table, and then I want to search for the -t. I want to search for the columns inside the database. inside the table called accounts. Okay, so the database I want to look for is still the same, Samurai Dojo Basic. Inside the database, you have a table called accounts, and I want to look for all the columns for the accounts table. So this is the command dash columns and press enter. And then same thing, you ask me a bunch of questions. Do you want to continue process? Please no. Then multiple injection points, same thing. I'm going to use the first one, the username injection. And then these are the columns I have found that are inside the accounts table. CID, my signature, password, username, and type is this one. That's yeah. So quite straightforward. Okay, the last part is try to enumerate the account data. Okay, then that's the end of the lab. So let me clear the screen. Okay, the last part, I'm going to enumerate the account data. So just now I was at the accounts table. So now I want to look for all the data. So let me just go over here, and then I search for dump, DUMP. And then the rest are the same. Press enter. So same thing to ask, do you want to process? No, I don't want to process. Injection using username, and there's a lot of injection points. CID username password. So these are the some of the usernames and password we have found inside this accounts database. So the first password is called Flynn. Username is admin. The signature is called monkey. Okay. CID is one. Password, some password. Adrian, no, our Adrian, and zombie film rocks. And then third one is monkey again. And this John, and last one is this one. And also the command line Kung Fu. Okay, so more or less, this is the information we have got over here. So before we wrap up this lab, basically just to let you know, so what we have done so far is this. We are using the SQL Map, this tool, right? When we try and key in the command over here, can you see? We are actually trying to find out information regarding the database, which is running inside server 1. Okay, remember your server 1, we didn't log in. We only use the IP address to connect to the server 1. And then depending on the information I got from this SQL map, right, I can actually try to pull out information or enumerate the database to find out all the interesting info, such as your username, your password, signature, and other stuff. Okay. So it's an interesting way to try to connect to the database inside the target server without actually logging in. Of course, in the real world, you will not be able to see the password in plain text like this. You will not be able to see the username as well, because ideally the database should encrypt your password and username. So if anybody who want to pull it out using SQL Map, it should appear as a bunch of garbage, okay, because it's all encrypted. But for illustration purposes, this is what we have shown you. Okay, so SQL Map can actually pull up your username, database, and all the other information inside the database that's installed on the target server. Okay, so that is the end of this lab.